General Manager of the GeForce business at NVIDIA.
Thank you so much for coming. We want to do an event today because we wanted to celebrate you guys. We want to bring you guys together. We want to give you an opportunity to have a blast playing the latest in PC games and celebrating PC games themselves. This is a great time for PC gaming, right? We are today on a pretty historic boat, or I should say, a pretty historic ship, right? The USS Hornet, right?
I'm on a boat!
You're on a boat, right? And the USS Hornet is a very historic boat, very historic ship in American history. And we thought this was a perfect place to gather. Now, for those of you that don't know, let me give you a little bit of history about the Hornet itself, okay? The Hornet was launched in August of 1943, right in the middle of World War II, right? It had a crew of about 3,500 people. It had a length of about 876 feet. It had 4 15-foot diameter propellers to push this thing around the ocean. 15 feet is about from here up to the top of the ceiling. That's how big those propellers are, right? It had about 101 aircraft. Now this is World War II aircraft. During its peak, it could carry up to 101 aircraft, propeller-driven aircraft, like a variety of different planes, like the F-6F Hellcat. This plane, this ship, was responsible for destroying 1,410 aircraft. It was responsible for destroying 42 cargo ships during World War II. It was responsible for destroying 10 destroyers, 1 cruiser, and then 1 additional aircraft carrier. This boat, this ship, was very historic in World War II, and it ties in very well to some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. So not only was it significant in what it did during World War II, but later on in its history, it actually was one of the most significant, it participated in one of the most significant moments in mankind when it recovered the Apollo 11 astronauts who returned back from being the first men to walk on the moon. The first time those Apollo 11 astronauts touched down was on this ship. And then NVIDIA even had a small little opportunity to participate in Apollo 11 just in the last few years, when you probably know that the Apollo 11 moon video that was captured was inadvertently destroyed. And they had very rough edits of that, very rough versions of that. Those very rough versions were then restored using NVIDIA GPUs to be able to allow NASA to have wonderful videos to show man's first steps on the moon. By the way, that's technology that goes into our graphics engines to power our GPUs to allow us to play games like we're going to be playing through the next couple of days. And because you guys, because of your enthusiasm for what we do, for building the kind of products that we build, we're able to offer those kind of products to be able to use for things like restoring historic videos for guys like NASA, for moments like landing on the moon. So thank you. You guys rock. So we thought this was a perfect place to be able to allow us to celebrate PC gaming. We thought, we were looking at all the years we've done GeForce LANs 1 through 5. We were trying to figure out where do we put the next one, and we thought, what the hell? An aircraft carrier.
On a boat!
On a boat, that's right, on a boat. The aircraft carrier, the USS Hornet. So this aircraft carrier, the LAN event that we're doing on this aircraft carrier has 620 BYOC seats, right? 64-seat tournament, 2D and 3D. 400 bunk LAN camp, and I think we've got about 150 people that are actually sleeping here on the boat in those Thank you. We've got 3 3D simulators to let you play really intense racing and flight simulators. We've got 22 sponsors and 48 hours of insomnia. So this is the perfect place to let us celebrate PC gaming. And we thought the perfect game to do it with actually is with Battlefield 3. So I thought it'd be perfect, since we wanted to celebrate PC gaming, we want to celebrate you guys, we want to celebrate these new games that are coming out that are really pushing the state of the art of our graphics engines. We thought it'd be fantastic to invite one of the key visionaries in the graphics industry, one of the most important architects at DICE, the people that build Battlefield 3, Johan Andersson from DICE is here today. So Johan, you guys have built a fantastic engine. First off, you've been at DICE for how many years now?
For 11 years now, so for quite some time.
And starting off with what game?
Yeah, Battlefield 1942, so...
Yeah! Battlefield 1942, right? And that was a great game, wasn't it?
That was an awesome game. It was a huge amount of fun developing it, and I guess a lot of people here had a lot of fun playing it.
What do you guys think? Now, Battlefield 1942 was 2002. That was what we called our GeForce 4 Ti. You guys remember that? Yeah! 2002, GeForce 4 Ti, and you guys built this game, Battlefield 1942, on top of the graphics architecture that was available at that time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't have really been possible without using GPUs for that everything. Those type of vast environments and all.
And when you guys were designing that game, a game like Battlefield 1942, what kind of things did you have to put into it that time to really kind of push the state of the art of gaming 10 years ago?
Well, it was just that scale. I don't think many games at that time had done really true multiplayer, 64-player at that scale with tons of different vehicles, tons of landscapes, tons of very varying environments, and then doing that in multiplayer. That was a really big challenge for us, but I think that really showed something unique that most gamers hadn't seen before back then.
Now, when we were talking earlier, Johan was telling me that Battlefield 1942, when they were building on the graphics architectures then, they were really limited by the graphics technology in terms of what they wanted to be able to do. They were pushing state of the art, but you're pretty limited by it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The GPUs introduced a lot of power, but it kind of fixed still. There were certain type of rendering algorithms you could use well, and we tried to push it quite a bit, but nowadays, with the type of hardware we have now, we're allowed to go a lot more freer. We can really create our own environments and create our own techniques and experiment freely, and I think people will see that in the BF3 quite a lot.
So I think probably the best way to kind of get a perspective of what a game like Battlefield 3 running on our latest technologies, our latest GeForce GTX technologies like, is to actually look at Battlefield 2 back in the day.
Battlefield 1942.
No, sorry, Battlefield 1942, right. Battlefield 1942 back in the day from 2002. So let's take a look at it.
So, how many people have played this one before? Yeah. So classic Battlefield action, crazy tanks, crazy vehicles, just flying there, doing your own thing, playing with your friends, killing your friends.
USS Enterprise is not really the Hornet, but it's pretty close, right? Yeah. So Battlefield 1942, you built this. Now, you told me a funny story about one of the very first things you guys decided to design for Battlefield 1942.
Yeah,
what was that?
Absolutely. One would imagine that the first thing you build for such a game is that you build with weapons, you build with vehicles, vehicles or landscape sprites. The first thing we built for 1942 was the chickens and cows. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's sort of funny anecdote.
So for this 1942 military game, you guys first designed chickens and cows.
Yes.
What did you have the chickens and cows doing?
They're just standing there. I'm not really sure if we shipped with them. We probably did remove them eventually, but yeah.
All right. So that was Battlefield 1942, and then you moved on. Now 10 years later, you've got GTX 580s available now in SLI. Which, by the way, relative to Battlefield 1942 vintage, when we had the GeForce 4 Ti, what we call the NV25s, the technology now has proved by over two orders of magnitude higher performance from that generation to our latest generations, right?
Yep.
So that means a lot of creative freedom for you guys.
Yeah, we take that power, we see what people want to create, and try and really innovate with the visuals, with the gameplay, and in general in the game. So it's hugely useful.
Where are the chicken and cows? The chicken and cows back in 1940 and Battlefield 3. Okay. So lots of new graphics technologies. Our latest graphics engines. And then you told me earlier that there were probably 3 things to pay attention to when looking at Battlefield 3 now.
Yeah,
What's those 3 things?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First, the landscapes. All the detail we put into the landscapes, most of the terrain, the things you can fly over, as well as all the optics we have in the game environment. That's really something we try and cram as much as possible into. We've always tried to do that, but now we have even more flexibility, even more hardware for that. The second thing would be, well, again, the vehicle action. That's always been the strong pillar of Battlefield, and the variation in gameplay you get from that. You'll see that strongly in Battlefield 3 again. It's sort of the core Battlefield spirit. And then thirdly, I think a really important visual thing is the sort of the visual style of the game. Of having this really visceral game with massive lighting, massive type of effects going on, making you sort of fit this big picture where everything fits together, and it fits together and empowers the game.
So landscapes and the extended landscapes, all the different vehicles that are in the game, and then now this ability to be able to create a unique, distinctive Battlefield 3 look and feel, visual style.
Yeah, that's what we're very proud of.
So Johan's been very gracious, and EA's been very gracious to bring exclusively to GeForce LAN for you guys some new maps for you to be able to play. So I think we have a map to show these guys, right?
Absolutely.
Called Operation Firestorm. Operation So you guys will be the first people ever to play this map. So that's what you were talking about, those extensive landscapes, right?
Absolutely. We use tessellation and displacement mapping for the terrain and the distance. in there, having destructible environments, indoor environments, having that variation in gameplay is really, really important for us.
Effects that are in the game are pretty cool, aren't they? So that game, the visual style that you guys have built into it, all the various different vehicles and all that, the terrain and all that, things for these guys to pay attention to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the core gameplay, it's fun.
Now, you guys have actually brought not just Operation Firestorm for these guys to play, but we have 2 other exclusive maps that have never been before played here at the GeForce LAN, right, these guys?
Yep.
Right?
It's a Grand Bazaar, which is a very cool close infantry combat level. For those who really like that, going down and dirty.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's yeah, exactly. And then there's Damavan Peak, which is one of the coolest battlefield levels ever created. You do a 500-meter base jump in the level. It's a very cool experience through going through completely different sections of the level. So if you guys will like that.
So there's 5 maps for you guys to be able to play, 3 that no one in the world, in the public, has actually played before. Not in the beta, no, you guys will be the first ones to play those 3 maps. That's pretty cool. So Johan, I want to thank you very much for coming and for bringing this great technology for us to play. Thank you very much. Now, in addition to being able to play Battlefield, oh, Johan, there's one. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, there's one more thing that we didn't talk about. Hold on a second. Come back up here. The one more thing we've got to talk about is playing this game now in 3D.
Oh,
right?
That little thing.
Right. So we got the tournament in the back. You can play the game in 2D. You can play the game with 3D vision. Right? So you guys spent a lot of time building the game to be able to play 3D, right?
Yeah, we've been working on some pretty unique stereo support for the Frostbite 2 engine, specifically for BF3, together with NVIDIA also. And it looks really cool, especially with the, yeah, you'll see.
So these guys have spent a lot of time making sure that Battlefield 3 looks really good in 3D vision so that anyone in the world that wants to play the game in this true, fully immersive stereoscopic experience can play it using NVIDIA technology. We really appreciate all the work that you guys do.